welcome to Live from the Laundry Room, the show where we interview some of our favorite education professionals, our friends and colleagues. Today, we are hanging out with one of my favorite counselors because this is one of the counselors that our students know nothing about until they're already into the college, in the depth of it all. Say hello, Alex Devlin. How are you doing this morning?
Hi, I am well, thank you.
Alex, tell people who you are and what you do.
I am Alex Devlin. I work for the Ayers Foundation, but at Jackson State. So I help the students once they come to the Jackson State campus in Lexington.
That is one of my favorite things to get. I get a text message, I'll get a phone call or something, and I'll have a student say, I got an email from an Alex asking me to do stuff like turn in paperwork or my volunteer. And I'm like, yes, that is the person I told you about when I said, you may hear from Alex. But they don't, they may not listen or hear that, but it's always nice. And then once either they skip over us and know that, that because you're with Ayers Foundation, you also can help them. Or once they get validation from us and say, is this a person I can trust? And I'm like, yes, you can ask them questions. You can almost see the sense of relief wash over their face of like, oh, good. There's a counselor at my new school as well that I can go to for random questions and things like that. So it's one of my favorite kind of questioning moments from a student of like, who is this? What is happening? So Alex, tell us about, you're at the Lexington campus, which is obviously my home turf since I'm at Lexington High School. Tell us about the Jackson State Lexington campus right now. I know you're at home probably, unless you just have a really nice job at your office. Tell us what's happening right now on campus. What are we doing right now? We are if you're watching this kind of at a random time or not when it premiered, we're in July right now. So what's going on?
So right now we are online for the summer terms, and the campuses are not open to the public right now.
As a fall student, we're looking at Great Expectations right now. They can still sign up for that, right?
Yes, we are in the middle of Great Expectations orientation.
Yes, which is online as well, right? Because the campus is not open to the public. Has there been any start date changes for when the fall will start? Have they discussed moving that up any or pushing that back any? Have they been able to put any concrete things on that?
As of right now, the semester will still begin on August 26th, but Dr. Bailey has said that the first week of class, the students will not come to campus. They're going to give the faculty and staff like time to figure out how they're going to split up groups and whatnot. Because next semester they're going to do a flex format, so they'll come to class. Maybe if they have class on Tuesday, Thursday, they may come Tuesday and then work from home on Thursday. But they'll still have to be available at this time and day that the class is. So they'll do Zoom or Blue Jean or whatever they decide to use for that. I guess it's based on class.
Well, that is neat. Yeah, I'm talking to students right now who are still, I know colleges everywhere are still trying to figure out how this is going to work. They may have an idea, but they're, I've noticed people aren't just like jumping quickly to announce it. I don't think anyone wants to be the first to say concretely, this will be flex, this will be online. A lot of our classes, because we've heard from different colleges that through the grapevine that things may be more online than in person, that they may only have to offer labs. We know that we're still kind of figuring that out. And also, I'm starting to see in the beginning of the summer, I had one or two students kind of flip, and they said, I'm no longer going off to somewhere else. I'm going to Jackson State because if we're all looking at more online classes, I'd rather save that money. And I've had two just in the last 24 hours that have let me know they'll be doing the same thing, or at least 90% sure they're doing the same thing. Are you seeing that any from what you're looking at? Any transfers, any people just going, if I'm going to be online, I want to save that money and attend Jackson State?
I think it's definitely going to be a thing for sure. I don't know that I've seen it yet, me personally, but I think that if when the 4-year schools start announcing that, that may be why they're waiting. I don't know. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
feel
sure so.
when they start announcing if they're going to go all online, then I feel like we'll get one of those students. I'll be glad. But
So what about our students that are returning and freshmen? What do they need to be doing right now to get prepared for the fall? And then I guess that's the main thing, is what do they need to be doing right now to kind of get them ready to go?
the returning students need to be mainly checking their Jackson State emails for an advisor email. If they haven't already registered, then they need to be checking their email, because an advisor would have emailed them about their PIN number and, giving them a schedule for fall. So, since they're not able to go to campus, that was the drill, was an advisor was going to email all the students from spring, and they would go from there on trying to register for fall.
So usually I'll let Jesse do his favorite part. Jesse, you go ahead and ask her your favorite questions.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about what you're doing at home?
Or the piece of advice.
Or the piece of, okay. So, let me preface it by pointing out my shirt, because right now we are recording this right after 4th of July. It is June, July type area, or type, of the year, that season. It is vacation season. We talked to Mary Lauren as she took a trip to Yellowstone. Not really where you were probably aiming for a vacation destination, but to be able to take some time off, see your husband while he's working in Yellowstone, got to see some great sights. I, however, am not working on a vacation this year. I'm wearing my very cheesy family shirt from last year's vacation because I'm that type of dad. So I had shirts made when we're going to Destin. It says it's destined to be a good time, because I love a good play on words. But we're at the part where I want to know what you're doing at home. And I want to preface it by saying, things are opening back up a little bit. We're seeing some mask requirements pop back up, like Madison County. People are starting to go on vacation, but things aren't really super open back up. Like, for instance, I plan my vacations typically around a baseball game. I want to go to a stadium that maybe I haven't been to, or revisit a city and go to a baseball game. So that's part of why I haven't even looked at vacation. And another part is I'm renovating my home a little bit. So Alex, we'll start us off, so that way you kind of get the format of what we're doing. This is my segment called "What You Doing at Home," where we find out that because of COVID, we're at home doing stuff that maybe we didn't have time for before. Maybe new hobbies that have popped up because we're like, wow, I have all this time after work. A lot of us have been working from home. Thankfully, Mary Lauren's back in the office. Our office is starting to open back up for appointments and things like that. But when we would clock out from work at the end of the day, kind of try to relax, we realized, nothing else is open. So what are we doing? So what I'm doing right now, we talked when we first started this show, I got brave and replaced the floor in my kids' room. I'm not handy whatsoever. But we thought my kids' carpet needs replacing. I put down some vinyl flooring. I showed a piece of the vinyl flooring. Then I had a bathroom renovated that I had planned way before COVID. And then once you get really deep into home renovations, my dishwasher broke and caused a big kind of flood, and I'm redoing my kitchen. And so that is what I'm doing right now. I'm going to show a picture. This is what I'm working on, what I'm doing at home. I get done every day. By 5 o'clock or so, I am jumping on some kind of project. I have scraped a ceiling and took the popcorn off, because the only popcorn I want in this house is buttered popcorn. So I've got a textured ceiling that I've put up. I'm laying floor tonight, and to test the very edge of my handyman capabilities, we're putting up cabinets on Friday. I obviously have a carpenter, professional carpenter friend who's going to help me do that, because the only stud I seem to be able to find in the house is me. My stud finder doesn't really work greatly. So that's what I'm doing at home right now. It is 100% just home renovations. People are probably sick of me talking about it. Really can't wait for that to be done so I can quit talking about it. Mary Lauren, you tell us what you're doing at home. How are things rolling since the last time we spoke?
I think you jinxed me by talking about your dishwasher, because shortly after that, my dishwasher went out. But I think I've decided, because a lot of people have had these issues, and I think it's because we're just having to use all of our things so much because we're home. Like, my stove is not the issue because my stove is for storage, but I had to go buy a new dishwasher. And of course, that's never simple. So a dishwasher turned into a new stove and a new microwave and a new dishwasher. So I'm kind of like you, but that's all I'm doing. Period. Knock on wood. Nothing else happens. And then, of course, I'm back in my office. So I am still working.
Yes. We, to point out how brave I thought I would be in doing this kitchen with very little experience. This that I've shown is actually a new area of the house. So I have to run water and gas, electricity, all of that. So when you say you're renovating a kitchen, people go, oh, that's cool. And then when you say, no, it's in a new area of the house, I have to run everything, they go, oh, no, that's bad. Alex, tell us about what's been going on since COVID has hit. And this could be any kind of fun hobby that you've done or added since March, even when we started shutting the world down. What you been doing at home?
So it's kind of a weird combo, but I started running and watching Netflix because I really have time to watch TV really before. And so I thought that's a weird combo, but yeah, I started running outside and now it's about to give me a heat stroke, but
absolutely. God bless you to do that, because I don't want to walk outside. To work on that. Like I put in a fire pit for some reason when summer was starting. People were doing outside home projects, and I thought, oh, fire pit. Well, I've got it completely done now, and I obviously don't want to light a fire, absolutely for no reason at all. No earthly why I wanted to do that so early. But yeah, that's a great combo. You've got your warm up of the run and then cool down with Netflix. So I have to ask, what is a live from the laundry room appropriate Netflix show that you've been watching? What's been on your list?
Well, I actually just started watching Sweet Magnolias, and it's really good.
Oh, Sweet Magnolias. And this is a Lifetime series that's been adapted for Netflix, basically?
It's a Netflix original series, I think. So, yeah.
I was waiting for you to say Tiger King. I appreciate your holding that back.
It's cute.
I did not watch Tiger King. I'm like,
Sweet Magnolias is cute.
Have you watched it? It's good.
I have.
I'm on like episode 2, but
I gave up Netflix for Lent, and then when Lent was over, I was like, okay, I have nothing else to do now. So I've been I watched it. I watched another show that has a word in it that I can't say on Live from the Laundry Room, but it's about a creek, a town called something Creek. Mm-hmm. It was great. And then I'm rewatching Grey's Anatomy, which is very much
favorite.
So you'll never run out of Grey's Anatomy because you have at least 400 to 500 episodes of that, of just and killing off their doctors. So you've got plenty of stuff to watch there. Alex, my other favorite part of the show is, we jokingly talk about like what we're doing to keep busy and stuff. And what we've been asking our guests is for a piece of advice that they would like to pass along during this time. And this can be COVID related, but it does not have to be COVID related at all. This can be towards, your students. I know you could probably preach until you're blue in the face about some of the dangers that you see students doing their first year of college, that you're like, I have seen this pattern so many times and it never works out for this person. And of course, most students have that Superman mentality of like, don't worry, it won't happen to me though. Whereas the odds are totally that will happen to them. So even if it's not COVID related, as COVID cases are kind of going up across the state, we have got a couple mask mandates across some certain counties and stuff. And during all this, we're also trying to get school off the ground. We all recognize the importance of making sure we start on time, or at least start this fall. It's go time Tennessee. We're trying to remind our students that this is it. This is the best time for you to start because of financial aid. There's a lot of financial aid that our first-time freshmen will not be eligible for if they don't start right now. So just in all of the factors that are going on right now, is there a tidbit of knowledge that you'd like to throw out as a piece of advice for our students, or for just humanity as a whole?
Yeah, so that kind of goes back to what you were saying. I was gonna stress that in this time right now, it's so important to let them know, do not put off college. Don't use COVID as an excuse to take a semester off, because, like you said, they can get the most financial aid right out of high school. And also, there's just so much higher percentage that they won't go if they don't go that first semester out of high school. So, even with the returning students from spring, I'm struggling with, there's several that are I don't know if I'm going to come back. And, I'm just trying to make sure that they stay on track, because I don't want them to quit for good, for sure.
Absolutely. And then worst case scenarios, there's always ways to make forward progress, even if it's not a full-time load of on-campus classes. There's ways to keep your progress moving, and just evaluate kind of where you're at, because a lot of our kids, as have big time dreams of health professionals, of different health programs, maybe nursing, maybe med school, maybe one of the great programs at Jackson State like PTA, OTA, EMT, any of those. We're trying to keep them on track for that, and show them hey, this is not the time. This is actually the best time for you to continue to grind, get those AMPs knocked out, and apply for that program. So yeah, that's a solid piece of advice. It's not time to wait. It's time to go. It's go time Tennessee. We've been pushing that out for a couple of weeks, just kind of having fun with that campaign to remind students it's now. And I love that you brought up your spring people as well from the past semesters. We focus right now obviously so much on our seniors that haven't experienced college yet at all. But some of the people we've been reaching out to this past week are those class of 2019 who went through their freshman year and had the last half of their second semester. And I feel so bad, because I feel like some students finally got the hang of it by March. Maybe they didn't have a great first semester, and they're like, this spring is going so much better. I've corrected my bad habits. I'm not staying out as late. I'm not partying. I'm not, I'm finally going to class every time. And then March hits, and we just move them online, and I know every college did that as well as they could. I don't blame any college for, their transition to online. But to a student, especially between 18 and 20, I never want them to take a full online load, because it's one of those things I've not seen done well. None of my students have that discipline just yet. Maybe their junior, senior year, they can handle a bunch of online classes. But, they equate it to dual enrollment. They go, oh, I took 2 dual enrollment classes online. I can totally take 15 hours online. I'm going to do this. And then it doesn't work out. So I applaud you for getting them spring students, trying to re-energize them to say, I know March and April made it go well, but there's still time. There's still some good that can roll from this, and we need to keep moving.
Some are very discouraged because they may have gotten their first bad grade, or whatever it may be. But it is what it is, and I'm just trying to encourage them to keep pushing on.
That's right. That one class, that one semester is not going to kill them. There's
Wow.
really 4. Anywhere between 2 to 8 semesters of college. So you're not going to kill it from one bad semester. Alex, any final thoughts that you need to pass along from you and Jackson State, confirming classes? Just reminding them of great expectations. Any last thoughts that we need to pass along that we need to make sure we emphasize?
Well, for the incoming freshmen, make sure you sign up for orientation. And for and confirming classes, they are saying that it's best not to try to confirm until August 1st, So I'll be sending out reminders and, let you guys know so you can post it on your Facebook pages as well. And I have instructions for that too. So also we do have a drop box at the Lexington Center. So if any students need to drop off papers, they can drop them in that drop box. It's on the front of the building, I think to the left of the doors. And they check that every morning. So there's one person at the Lexington campus each day. I mean, the students can't come inside, but they can call if they don't feel comfortable leaving it in the lockbox. They can call and someone will come to the door and get it from them. But yes, that's an option.
Very cool. Very cool. And this Dropbox, I want to make sure the one at the Lexington campus, can they drop off financial aid paperwork there as well?
Yes.
Oh, so convenient. So convenient. Because right now we're taking that from them and just trying to get it there as most efficiently as possible. Also, I can't believe you didn't name drop. You guys have an electronic transcript request.
I know. So exciting.
And that is so important because our dual enrollment students are just now realizing they need that transcript sent to their four-year school. So if you're watching this and you're a four-year student and you are starting in the fall, if you have not requested your dual enrollment transcript from Jackson State, do it now. Get it there now. That's really important for your orientation. And it may be important for you to even print out an unofficial, that is a lot of words, to take with you to show what classes you've already taken. Alex, thank you so much for joining us. I know you were hesitant to jump on live from the laundry room, so I appreciate you getting up and putting on your Jackson State gear and repping. This is Mary Lauren and Jesse signing off. Have a great week.